Okay, I think what we were doing was yesterday we did created a purchase order. I think so. So what we have done was we have compared the quotations. We have created a purchase order. We have discussed about various sections within the purchase order. We have created a purchase order manually. We have created a purchase order with reference to a purchase requisition, and we created a purchase order with reference to RFQ. I think we have not. Okay, so let's try to understand what are the things that we need to know from the purchase order. Okay, so let me log into the system. All right, so once again I'll go with ME21N, that is create purchase order. What we have seen yesterday was creation of purchase order with no reference to any document, and then we have created a purchase order with reference to a purchase requisition. This time I'm going to create a purchase order based on an RFQ. Once again, whenever you are referring some document and then creating a purchase requisition or any target document, open this selection variant, or else if you don't open also, here you will have something like create PO with reference from or something like that appears over here. So here my intention is to create a PO with reference to RFQs, so request for quotations. I'll go with it. So here I wanted to see all the requisitions created for my Chennai plant. In case if you have a material also, you can specify the material number. Okay. What is that? Rail wheel, something we have created, right? Let me just go and find out the material. So rail wheel tire for smaller car. So this is the material, this is the plant for which I'm looking for a request for quotations created for this. As you can see here, I've got too many options. I can refer any request for quotation like this, as I've already shown you. Either you select the reference document and go with copy as, or you select and drag it and drop it over here into the basket, so that all the items of this particular reference document will get defaulted into the target document, that is purchase order. Okay, now you could see here the effective price is 555, whereas middle price is 6,000, something like that. Okay, you just remove the document overview off, or switch off the document overview, save it. Okay, so this is how you can create even the purchase order from reference to the existing RFQ, or you can even create a PO with reference to an existing PO as well. That is also possible. Again, in that case you may have to look for POs created for so and so plant, or for that matter anything, and you refer a PO of any sort which you wanted. Like you see here, I go with create, then go with document overview on, now you go with selection variant, purchase orders, or you can go with my purchase orders, so that it will bring only the purchase orders created by you only. Okay, you see here, these are some of the purchase orders created by you. What I can do is, maybe I can refer some purchase order, for example this one, and then copy it so that the data from this purchase order will get defaulted into the target object. You could see here all these fields will have an option here. Okay, so you check it and then you can post it. While posting it, I wanted to show you some things over here. Organization of purchase orders. So it means here we are going to discuss about various tabs that we see in the purchase order. As you can see, there are certain tabs available at header view and certain tabs available at item details. To start with header, you see delivery terms, that is invoice, payment terms, etc., currency, exchange rates, is the exchange rate fixed, okay, and then conditions. Conditions means header conditions like cash discount, etc., etc., and then various text information which needs to be brought from material or info record or something else, reference document, and then the address of the vendor, communication partners of the vendor, additional data where you may be entering validity, start period and ending period for the limit POs or the blanket POs, organizational data such as company code, purchasing group, purchase organization, status, which will tell you what is the order quantity, quantity to be delivered, still to be delivered, invoiced, so on and so forth. And then payment processing also, it will contain this information. And then if you go into item details,
Good morning, Mr. Sir.
Morning, sir. If you go into item details, you have something called material data, which is default from the material master, and you have something called quantities, whatever the quantity that is, that you are ordering, and if there is anything, the order price unit, and then there is, if the order quantity or order unit is differs from the base unit of measure, you have this one, order unit versus stock keeping unit. Stock keeping unit in this case is nothing but the base unit of measure. There is some background noise from someone. Can you please be on mute? And then if you go into delivery schedule, these are the deliveries. Okay, so let's say if you don't want all these things, you can simply delete them. Okay, why price was not there? I thought price should have been there. Sorry, Andy. Sundaragar, you are saying something? Okay, and then if you go into delivery, this information is relevant for goods receipt. You could see here under delivery, over delivery tolerances, into which stock type are you going to receive this material. In case if you would have maintained anything called minimum remaining shelf life, production period, etc., this minimum remaining shelf life will be maintained in the middle master. And then there is something called whether the goods receipt is required for this material or not, and also if it is a GR non-violated, then it expects system that the goods are not, the good receipt is not required. And then if you go into invoice, it contains all the invoice related information like invoice required or not required, if the invoice is based on goods receipt, in case if there is any tax code, all this information will be available here. And then these are item conditions. There are certain cases where some item may come at a discounted price and maybe other item not a discounted price, and also the delivery charges maybe vary from material to material. So all these item level conditions will be available here. And then if you go into text, you can extract or you can transfer text from material master info record or even from the purchase requisition item. We will see how the text needs to be transmitted from the source document to the target document. In this case, target document is PO, or else in case if you want to maintain some free text here, you can maintain so. Okay, so if you want to maintain some free text, you can maintain, or this text may come automatically as well. And then the delivery address is normally the plant address where the material needs to be delivered. In case if you want a different delivery address, you can go and find it out. Okay, if you want to maintain a different delivery address, you can create a new delivery address number, and this address number can be picked up from here. Okay, there will be a table for the delivery addresses and all. So therefore, once your address is created, you can go and search for that, and then you can place it here. Therefore, the material, instead of delivering at plant, it will be delivered at the place where you want it. And then I think we have discussed about confirmation tab also. Here you will have various things like, do you require order acknowledgement? Do you require advanced shipping notification? Do you require rough cut GR? All these things will be maintained or updated in the confirmation tab. And then you have something called conditions control, that is like whether the price needs to be printed or not. Other than this, in case if you have any other custom fields, you may create your own tab here, something like customer fields, and then you can place all your custom fields in that particular tab as well. Okay, so this is how you go and create purchase order. So this is the normal purchase order. Now let me go and create a PO with multiple account assignment. I think we have done this one in purchase requisition, right? If you could recollect your thoughts, I have created a purchase requisition with account assignment category. I can just refer that requisition and then create a PO here. Just give me a second. Let me try to find out that purchase requisition having account assignment category. Table for identifying purchase requisitions with account assignment category is EBKN. So here I'll go and choose cost center. Let me get that. So from here I can go with F4 search help, from which I can find out my own cost centers. What's your control area? 777, right? I've created 3 cost centers. You could see here ADM, PRD, SRC. Okay, so if I go and find out the requisition, you see here, this is my requisition. So what I can do is I can create a purchase order with reference to a requisition. You see here, this is a requisition. I can just hit enter. Then all the the requisition line items will get defaulted into my purchase order. Okay, so purchase organization is 77C. Okay, let me go and give the vendor. Okay, So I'll choose Sridhar as the vendor. Alright. What is this material? Stationary items. Okay. I have expected price to come automatically. So you maintain the price of 10. Quantity is not there, so you specify that as well. Why? What's happening? Am I referring PR? Yeah. Ideally, it's not supposed to ask me these many questions.
For you?
I'm sorry?
Sorry, Venkat. Probably I would have missed this question which I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, please.
We have created material separately. Yeah. We have created vendor master separately.
Correct.
How do you link these vendors to that material?
Via info record, purchasing info record.
Okay.
We have discussed those things yesterday and day before as well. A source list is one material to multiple sources, whereas a purchasing info record is a material with a vendor, specific combination and the purchasing terms and conditions negotiated with it.
No problem. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so this is my requisition. Okay, so I have expected it to automatically get defaulted into my PO when I give the reference, but it's not defaulting. Let me find out why. What's the reason? Requisitions, purchase requisitions. Is this the one? 1001-5298. 1001-5298. Yes. How many materials do I have? I have got only one material. So therefore I simply drag and drop it here. Why quantity is not coming? Looks like there is even the quantity has not come. Okay, so PV00 price of 10 rupees. Okay, now if you look at it here, you see here, this is what we call it as PO with multiple account assignments. So this is the one I was referring to. Okay, while creating a PO, it's not only one purchase requisition which can be converted into PO. You can convert multiple requisitions into one PO, or you can have multiple account assignment lines with reference to a single PO line. So with whatever way, this is called as multiple account assignments. As you can see here, material is only one. I mean to say PO line item is only one, but I am posting it into multiple accounts. Or it could be other way also. Let me show you here. The other way is, let's say, for example, packaging materials. Okay, as you know, there is something called packaging material which we normally use it for the especially bearings. Okay, on the within the bearing you actually have something called packaging ropes, people call it as. They are of different sizes and shapes. Some of them are in a what you call, they are like a thread. Some of them are like what you call flat ribbon, those things. Some of them are like in a square. Okay, so those packaging materials. Let's say I am purchasing 10 meters of packaging material. I don't have the material master, right? I wanted it to be available here by 24th, let's say, and the cost of the material is, for example, 100 rupees per meter. Okay, and then material group, let me enter material group also. Fasteners, no. Engines, maybe, yeah, or pump maintenance, something like this. Okay, and the plant is 77C, which is Chennai. Okay, now you see it's asking please enter material number or account assignment category. I don't have the material number, so I use account assignment category. Yes, sir.
Sorry, Venkat, Sudhakar again. Sorry to trouble you.
Yeah, not a problem.
You earlier said, you mentioned earlier that for each account or multiple accounts, each purchase order line will be created.
Correct.
Isn't it?
What we are going to see is PO with multiple account assignment. That means a single line item can be distributed across multiple accounts, or within the same PO, which would have been created with reference to multiple PRs, and in each PR line item you would have a different GL account. Means it would have been distributed to different cost center.
Correct, I understand that. The question I wanted to know is, let's take one step back and purchase requisition, which has got multiple lines, has got multiple accounts. Okay?
Yeah.
And the purchase order is created automatically.
Correct.
Now, the purchase requisition should go for approvals, right?
No.
And the approvals are based on the cost centers.
Hold on, Sudhakar. Let me correct your question. You see, you said purchase requisition is there for a certain cost center with a certain GL account. Okay, agreed. Purchase order will not be created unless the purchase requisition is approved, provided if you are setting up the reduced procedure on purchase requisition. Right? If you need an approval where this cost needs to be booked. I'm sorry.
No, I agree what you say. I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
That's what I said, one step back to purchase requisition, not purchase order.
Correct.
So the purchase requisition has got multiple accounts, which means it has got multiple cost centers.
Correct.
And each cost center has got as an approver.
Correct. Possible.
Okay. Now, and if 3 purchase requisition lines has got different cost centers, and it is waiting for approval for approving for one particular cost center who is gone on a leave, will that purchase requisition will still sit there in his work list? And what about the 2 remaining items which is got approved by different persons?
That's the process issue, Sudhakar. Let's say I've got cost center 1, cost center 2, cost center 3. What you are saying is the person responsible for cost center 1 is not available right now. Assuming he is the first person to approve it, he is not there. What do you want me to do with it? You want me to wait until he comes, or let me complete, Sudhakar. I'm sorry to interrupt you. You want me to wait until he comes back, or you want me to wait for a couple of days and then escalate it to his next boss, immediate boss, which you have to tell me. Based on that, I'm going to set up my workflow. Can you hear me, Sudhakar?
I couldn't hear you.
So, is your question answered? It's a process issue which the process owner has to tell me. Are you going to wait for unlimited time till the approver comes back and approves it, or option number 2?
No, I didn't hear it at all.
Sorry, can you hear me? Hello? Can anybody hear me?
Yes, sir, hearing.
Sudhakar, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Sudhakar? I think he might have logged off. You guys get his question? Let's say a purchase requisition is created with three different cost centers. Obviously, the cost of each cost center needs to be approved by the respective manager, right? So if one person is on leave, what happens to my voice is lost? Carry on. You can say he said he put up a message. Okay. So what he's saying is, if one person is on leave, how do you handle this situation? It's a process issue. For example, you have to tell me the options. If the guy is not available to approve it, are you going to put up a substitute person to approve it in his absence? Point number one. If there is no substitute approver, then I'll ask you the second question. Do you want me to wait for unlimited time? Yes or no? If it is yes, I need not have to set up substitutes. I need not have to escalate it to the next immediate available manager, right? If he says no, you should not wait for unlimited time, rather it should be approved by the other persons, then I can skip off this approver and then send it for the next approver. Or if the process is, if Venkat is not there, Venkat's boss should approve it. If that is the case, I will escalate. Okay? There is something called escalation. So the work item will be escalated, or rather the approval mail will be escalated to the immediate available boss of the person who is not available. He will approve it, right? So these are the kinds of options which the business has to take. Based on that, we will set up the process. Okay. So now here,
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, Lakshmi.
We are directly converting the RFQ into, or the requisition into the purchase order over here.
Correct.
In an ideal situation, that would be sent to the next approval, and that gets approved, and it shows in the system that it is ready to be released. So where are we seeing that, sir?
We are not seeing it right now because, like I told you, we have not set up any approval process on this yet.
Okay.
Okay, that will be done in the later stage. Again, it's
Okay.
only a release procedure. I'm not going to show you anything with something called approval workflow mechanism, like sending the emails to approvals, getting them approved. Those things we will not be showing it because it requires ABAP work as well.
Okay. In an ideal situation, it will not be sent through the email. It is done in a system itself.
That's what I'm saying. If it is done in the system
No,
itself,
Lakshmi, there will be a no.
Sorry to interrupt you.
In real time, they'll send emails, right, for the notification as a notification.
That is the ideal situation. That is the ideal situation. Once the purchase requisition is raised, person to be approved needs to receive an email notification saying that so and so document has been raised and is awaiting for your approval. He will receive an email into his official inbox. Otherwise, how will he know that there is some document waiting for his approval? That is ideal situation. What is not ideal is what you are saying. Being an approver, I will be given a release code. I will go into transaction, check if there is any document for my approval. That is not ideal. In the perfect world, yes, you should be receiving an email.
Okay.
Okay. Now you see here, this is
Okay,
what we were discussing about multiple account assignments. You can have multiple account assignments for a single PO line item, or a PO will be created with multiple lines. Each line is for a different purchase requisition line. So in either situation, you call that as a PO with multiple account assignments. Okay. Then the next important thing in the PO item overview is, you see here, let me just go and display purchase order which I've created. Right, if you look at here in the item overview, I'm talking about this one. We have discussed about various account assignment categories. Now let me help you understand the next column, which is called item category. Right? So what do you mean by item category? It's a single character key which tells you what type of item that you are procuring. Right? Is it a standard item, or is it a special procurement item, or is it a service item? That you have to specify. If you have nothing here, that means that's a standard or normal item. There are different types of item categories possible. Like I said, nothing is available in the item category. That itself is an item category which is called standard item or a normal item. Next one is item category B. B stands for limit item. Okay, we discussed something like the framework order document type yesterday, which I'm going to create right now in the next 5 minutes. So B stands for framework item or a limit item. What do you mean by that? What are the features of limit item, which we will see. Then item category K stands for consignment item. What do you mean by consignment? A vendor will keep the material, his material, at your premises for your ready usage. If a material is available, if the vendor's material is available at your premises, that doesn't mean that you are the owner. The ownership still lies with the vendor, but the liability creates only when you consume the material from the vendor's consignment stock. That is called consignment. Subcontracting means you will be giving your material to some other person, a third party person, where he will do some value addition on your material and then return it back to you. So the subcontracting is what is the value addition that he is performing. That value addition you are subcontracting it to somebody. That is called what we call the subcontracting. Then there is something called third party item. It means from the third party is something like this. You buy a material from one vendor, or you buy a material from your vendor, and then you sell it, the same material you will sell it to your customer without any value addition. While doing so, you get benefited some profit. You book some profit. That kind of item is called third party item. Third party means you are not going to deliver the material to the customer. Instead, your vendor, who is actually delivering the material directly to your customer. That is what we call as third party order processing. So all these things, consignment, subcontracting, third party, etc., we will deal with the chapter called special procurement. Whereas item category D, which we use it in service procurement. So there is something called external service management, a chapter. So in external service management, I'm going to discuss about this item category D. So in a way, all these item categories are covered in the next, say, one month to 40 days time. Right? So now, these are various item categories. These item categories are based on certain things. Okay? These are actually based on, I would say, what we call document type. Like what we have seen, a material type can control not many things. So here also, your document type controls a lot of things. While we work with configurations, I'll explain you how to control item categories, etc. in the purchasing documents. Okay, we will start our configurations probably from tomorrow. Okay, so you could see here these are various item categories like normal item, consignment item, third party item, even pipeline item. I'm not seeing pipeline here, but there is an option called pipeline material. Okay, a pipeline material is something like, for example, the power. Okay, here pipeline is not there. Power, the electricity, how are you getting? You are getting through wire. And how do you charge? How do you being charged? A meter is kept at your premises. So whatever you consume, it's getting recorded or updated in the meter. End of every month, somebody from Transco is coming, observing, and generating the bill and giving it to you. So it means what? Do you, for example, if you need a power today or if you need a power tomorrow, do you need to raise a purchase order? Sourcing team, you have to say answers for these questions.
Sir. No, sir.
You don't require. Do you maintain the inventory for the power?
No.
Not required. These are the special features of pipeline materials. So when we work with special procurement, we will also discuss the other item category, though which is not there here, pipeline material. That also we will discuss it. Right, document management system in purchase order. I think I've already shown you in RFQ or in quotation how to attach documents. You have to be in creation mode or in change mode, and then you go with services for object. Here you will have create attachment option will be there. Okay, you see here. Before, if you don't have any attachments attached to any of the material items, you see attachment list is blank. If you want to attach it, you can simply go and attach it. Okay, once the document is attached, this attachment list will get enabled. If you double click it, the attached documents will appear. If you double click that attached document, it gets open. That is what we call it as document management system. And then, now let's work with framework orders. Other than this, do I have anything? No. Okay. So let's work with the framework orders. Okay. Now, question to the sourcing team. What is framework order? Pavitra? Have you worked with framework orders?
Framework order is created for a certain time, and that purchase order can be used multiple times. For example, if a requisition is raised for the 100 quantity, and the supplier can supply those quantity in a like monthly wise or quarterly wise in the provided period.
Right. Good. Any other comments from Lakshmi or from Radhika if she is there?
This is specially designed for orders wherein wherein the orders are on a regular basis for the same quantity, same price. It's fixed for a year, 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
The purchase order is valid for 1 year.
Okay. All right. All your. Sorry.
Generally, this framework orders, sir. Hello, sir.
Chappan sir, Sundarrao garu.
Generally, these framework orders are issued on project stage, construction stage.
Okay. Construction stage, if they issue it, then how do you use it, sir?
For project stage, suppose ordinary Portland cement is there. We require the number of about 25,000 tons of cement. Some stage by stage we are placing orders.
They are placing the orders stage by stage.
Not-
It means
Not stage by stage orders, on a single order on a repeating basis.
okay, multiple deliveries. That's what you mean to say.
Yes, sir, multiple deliveries.
Okay. All right. Let me. Sorry, Sudhakar.
Framework order is the framework order is a framework agreement?
Framework agreement is different. Framework order is
Different, okay.
different. Okay.
Right.
I would
Is it
say-
a blanket order then?
Yeah. So let me just go. Blanket purchase order. Okay. Limit PO. All you can say, you can use any name for these things. Okay, let's work with this one. You have got some special features to it. Okay, so let's try to see what are those features. Okay, point number 1. What kind of materials are included in the framework order? Lakshmi or Pavitra? What kind of materials are covered under framework order?
Raw material, which are used for production.
Services.
Okay. They are
For
all
example, monitoring.
low.
And
Low value.
service.
Services.
Everything is correct. But they are all
Quantity high and low value.
low value materials. Okay. So these are the features. Right. What is the next thing? When you create a
Services.
PO, do you have quantity over there? Or document type? What is the document type? Document type for the PO.
FO. FO.
It's FO. Next. Anything else?
It's a period, sir. Expiration of
It
the
should have
framework
a
order.
definitive start and end dates. Yes or no?
Yes.
Next, quantity. What is the quantity? Do you maintain quantity for
Quantity
the
will be
framework
high.
order?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is the quantity? Let me just go and create a PO. I'll just go with create. Okay, so here I'm choosing framework order. Okay, purchasing organization this one, purchasing group this one, company code is 777, my vendor is so and so. Okay, now validity date is coming, so let's do the validity date from June 012, okay, 31/12/2012. Enter. What next? You have to tell me. Do you see any item category?
Yes, sir.
Which item category? Isn't it? Item category B or I would say D. Isn't it?
D. Yeah.
Services. What is B? Limits. Isn't it? So when you specify limits, what is the limits? Tell me. Let's say I wanted to procure office supplies. Okay? Office supplies for my plant. Okay? This is 777C. Hit enter. Please enter material number or account assignment category. Okay, before that I am entering item category B. Okay, now it's still asking please enter material number or account assignment category. Let's say I don't have any account assignment right now, so I go with U, unknown. Unknown at the time of order. Okay, now you see here overall limit, I would say budget and expected cost or the value, isn't it? For example, I am buying office supplies. Okay, I've been given a budget of 10,000 for 6 months for the entire team, my team. Am I going to spend 10,000? Yeah, I'm thinking so. Maybe 10,000 rupees. It could be 9,600 rupees. This is what I am expecting. The entire budget is given to me. The overall budget given to me was 10,000. But what I am expecting is, the material that I am ordering will cost me for 9,600. It could be more also. It could be slightly less also. Then what else? Quantity is defaulted to 1. Did you remember? Try to recollect the POs that you guys have created. Quantity should be defaulted to 1 automatically. You have no control on quantity field. Right? Similarly, the price is not required. Right? Why it is not required? The price that you see here is a quantity based price. Because you are not giving any quantity here, net price is not required. Instead of simply price, say net price. Not required. And hence defaulted to 0. Okay? Next. What else? Tell me, what else? Account assignment category. You can use cost center, can be given, okay, if it is known at the time of ordering. At the time of order time. Else use U. What is that? Unknown account. So when you are using unknown account, then obviously there won't be any account assignment tab here. This is also a special feature. I am using account assignment category U, but there is no account assignment details required. Okay, so if used, or else let me put it this way, account assignment category can be given if it is known at the order time, else use unknown account for which no details is required. Okay, or rather account assignment tab doesn't display, does not display. Next, what else? Okay, you see here I have specified overall limit and by expected cost are maintained. Okay, you are maintaining this. Okay, or maintained, which will be validated at the time of invoice. Isn't it? See, I am saying my budget is 10,000, my expected value is 9,600. What happens if the vendor says like, boss, it is 9,800 or 10,100? So this will be validated at the time of invoice. Similarly, the validity period that we have specified here, end dates to be entered, and they are validated at the time of invoice. Are you receiving invoice within the validity period of the PO? If not, the invoice will be blocked for payment. Okay, next, what else? Okay, look at here. No goods receipt is required. Okay, normally if you look into this, you see here, if you look into delivery tab, you see goods receipt is not checked. When there is no goods receipt checked, it means what? Goods receipt is not required, not expected. Okay, anything else? Do you see any other differences or deviations with reference to the normal PO? Can you tell me any other differences, anything which you may feel? Okay, so these are various special features. I think in the invoice tab I should be seeing something else. You see here, this is delivery, goods receipt, GR non-validated. Okay, and normally you would be seeing something called delivery completion indicator. Okay.
Wow. 1 minute, sir. What about invoice?
I'll come to that, sir. Okay. No goods receipt is required. Okay. For that you have to go to delivery tab and ensure that GR required or goods receipt check box is unchecked and no DCI delivery completion indicator is displayed, because you don't expect any goods to be receipted, so therefore no DCI indicator. Next, if you go into invoice, you see here GR based IV is unchecked. Okay, here in invoice tab, GR based IV is unchecked as no GR is required, isn't it? When there is no required, there is no point in checking GR based IV, right? Anything else? Any other things that you have noticed? Let me go into the details and see if we have covered everything or missed anything. The value items can be created for consumables and services in order to allow large number of individual procurement transactions to be carried out with reference to the value item. Okay, when I say value, it's not value, it is low value. For example, these office supplies or stationaries, etc., etc. If I have got some 18-member team under me, let's say if everybody is raising a purchase order, which is nothing but a waste of time, waste of money, waste of paper, everything, resources. Instead of doing that, if one person takes the responsibility and creates a PO on behalf of everybody, right, that covers the needs of all the 18 people. You see, that covers the needs of all 18 people. That is what we call it as low value order item or a framework item or a blanket item. The procurement of office supplies from a single vendor in a year might have required the creation of many purchase orders. Like I said, Venkat wants it, Venkat will raise a purchase order. If Lakshmi wants it, Lakshmi also can raise a purchase order. If Sridhar wanted material, he'll also raise a purchase order. If you keep raising those many orders, what will happen? What will happen to the time, the effort, the money that you spend? Everything is going to be unnecessary thing. This is only a time-consuming and uneconomical and inefficient process. Therefore, instead of doing that, if somebody takes ownership on behalf of the entire team or a group or a department, then raise a purchase order which will cater the needs of all these 10 or 20 or 30 people within the department, right? Therefore, they need not have to raise the purchase orders individually, which saves time, money, as well as effort as well. So therefore, these are the functions or features of framework order. The assignment of budget, a value limit, and a validity period to each of the PO line is required. We have discussed it. Budget, limits, and validity period. The budget information is used in commitment accounting, while the value limit is checked at the time of invoice verification. Then, option of specifying an account assignment in the PO. We have already noted here. Okay, account assignment category can be given if it is known at the time of order. That is, if not, use unknown account. Okay. Then, a goods receipt or a service acceptance is not mandatory step in the process. That's what we have stated here. No goods receipt is required. Okay. If using account assignments, they can be entered during invoice verification instead of in the PO. Right. So, if you are using that is unknown account, which you do not know at the time of ordering which account you are using, how many, but that needs to be supplemented at the time of invoice verification, because by the time you invoice this material, you should be knowing how many are taken by which team or which person. And then during invoice verification, the value limit and the validity period both are verified, validated. The purchase order has monetary capabilities for the set-in amounts. Orders containing value items are known as blanket orders. Blanket orders are created with order type FO and item category B. The items account assignment category can be U, and later you can actually enter the accounts. You have to use logistics invoice verification function to post an invoice with reference to the blanket purchase order. So these are the special features of the framework order. Okay. Any questions in it? I'll just go and save this PO. Give me a moment. I'll just go with check to see if there are any messages. No messages, therefore I'll go and save it. Okay, so here is your PO. I think it requires little time. Come on. Okay, maybe the database is not getting updated, so it will be available in a few seconds time. You can see here. Okay, the next thing is table control mechanism. You see here, this is what a table control is. In case if I wanted item category before account assignment category, I can replace. I can play with these columns available in the what we call item overview table, right? So this is just a user specific setting. In case if you want it, you can modify it. So it's simply dragging and dropping functionality here. Look at here. If I wanted it this way, you see here, item category is before account assignment. So like that I can play with it. Or else if you want to create your own way of, a variant, you just maintain settings. You create a variant here. You create a variant here with your name. You go with create, and this sequence will get saved for you only, not for everybody, right? So this is one personalized setting which you can do it yourself, provided if you are comfortable with a certain sequence of columns. Otherwise there is nothing in it, right? So that's all we have it in the purchase orders. Any questions? Anyone has got any questions? I wanted to stop the class today at 11 o'clock because I've got some meeting at 11:30, so I need to rush to my office. We will have class tomorrow, same time, 9:30. But if you have any questions now, maybe I can take it for another 5-10 minutes.
No, sir.
Absolute silence means, can I assume no questions from anyone?
No questions from you?
No from me, sir.
All right then. So we will depart now and meet tomorrow same time 9:30 a.m. Okay.
Okay, I'll drop you an email.
మాట్లాడతారా ఇప్పుడు? ఓకే, మీరు ఇక్కడే ఉన్నారా? బ్యాక్ ఇన్ ఇండియా?
I'm back in India. I'm in Bangalore.
Okay.
We're struggling here.
Struggling for what?
Oh, everything. I've got a missing bags, 3 bags.
Oh my god. ఎక్కడ హీత్రోలోనా? ఎక్కడ మిస్ అయినాయండి?
Heathrow వాళ్ళు పంపించలేదు 3 bags. So it should come today, and I'm chasing that. And
That's a big
physically,
trouble.
climate change, drastic impact. Quite hot here.
Okay.
So what about SRM? I'm just settling down, not yet. So I've got my internet access.
We can have it from tomorrow onwards, Andy.
Tomorrow, if you let me know about the time.
Let's have it in the morning, 6 o'clock, so that we will have undisturbed time of at least an hour or hour and a
I
half.
have no issues at all.
Because if we plan to have it in the evening, I might be pulled by my manager or maybe some other teammates.
No worries, no worries.
So that's what is happening. So let's have, whether it is 1 hour or 1.5 hours, let's have undisturbed time of 1 hour to 1.5 hours in the morning, 6 to 7, 7:15, something like that.
Yeah. So we'll do it for tomorrow?
Yeah. That morning 6 పెట్టుకుందాం అయితే.
Super. Okay. So I'll have to catch up in MM as well. So I'll come on to plan.
Yeah. చూడండి మీరు అయితే.
Yeah, that looks great, and it's nice. So variety.
రైట్ సార్ అయితే.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.